What's up? What's up? Happy Thursday. We're here for another episode of the Ballsville podcast, episode 4.22. We're cruising along this offseason, having a good old time. Lots of action in the leagues. We're going to get to it. But first, let's go around the board here. My co-host, Christopher, how you doing tonight?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for having me as always. Lovely time to be a Ballsville patron.
Absolutely. Lots of fun. And partaking in that fun as well, we have Todd Barber, TB76, one of our favorites. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Getting to enjoy this.
Absolutely. And we're going to have a lot of fun on tonight's show, guys. I got to be honest with you. This is probably one of the most, this segment is going to be the most preparation we've put into any segment that we've debuted on this show. And it's going down tonight. So we get to play it out and we're going to get right into it. All right, coming over, we're going to talk about the Ballsville update, where we're at with all the games. We have 3 games open right now. We have the big game, which is our $7 best ball. We have the Highlander game, running out of spaces. That is our $25 guillotine format. We also have the newly debuted gauntlet game. We're going to get into that here in a moment. Our new segment is going to be Fantasy Court. This is our draft edition. And then we're going to get us to some trade talks. And, of course, in Ballsville fashion, we're going to give away a freebie. We're going to give away 2 freebies because we have JoJo's freebie to give away. If you're paying attention, you had a comment on the show from last week, episode 421, to be eligible for that. And we're gonna use a new format to determine the winner there. Hopefully it plays out right. First things first, we're going to get into some NFL news and rumors. I guess one of the biggest things making headway here this week is the Brandon Ayuk drama. I keep saying that this guy is a AB head case without the AB talent. Christopher, I don't know how much about it you know, but would you agree with the statement like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mix of not being happy like A.J. Brown and then being a nut job like the other A.J. Brown and then the 2 Browns, basically. It's a mixture of the both of them.
What do you think about it, Todd? I mean, you know about the driving video. This guy came out and was talking trash about the San Francisco 49ers. I don't remember, but to paraphrase something of what he said, it was like, the guy brings the toy to the playground and then doesn't play with it, and then you go play with that toy, and he takes his toy and goes home. Talking about San Francisco and how they're kind of holding him hostage. I mean, the whole thing's kind of a bad vibe. What do you think about that situation, Todd?
I think he's just trying to stay relevant somehow or another, just trying to get some hype around him. But he comes out sounding really crazy.
I agree with it, man. It's as a 49er fan, it's a shame what's gone down there, and I'm just kind of hoping we get some compensatory money back. In Giants news, Chris, you're going to like this. Along with Jordan Love, Jackson Dart has been noted as looking great at camp. Also, Malachi Fields is amongst the rookie standouts, and Cam Scatteraboo is back to doing individual drills. Also, on a lesser note, Abdul Carter sitting out with a minor ankle injury. What do you know about this stuff, and how do you feel as a Giants fan?
I feel good knowing like how notoriously tough John Harbaugh practices are. So if they're getting tough now, hopefully it prepares them for the long season. Hopefully they're not overdoing it, but especially in Scadabo's case. But he seems to be fine with his outside football activities. I really need to hear that from Dart, since he's my second highest rostered player so far in all fantasy leagues. So, I'm definitely looking ahead to see if the Giants do keep this up.
And that's a little foreshadowing on the Cam Scatteraboo talk. We're going to get into that later in the show. We'll go to you, Todd. Do you have a lot of Giants that you're drafting? And is this news something that would excite you if you're a Jackson Dart owner?
I've been drafting them in, neighbors and Dart, around turns in the big game. I don't have much stock in dynasties or anywhere else. So it's just interesting to see how it'll play out. Hopefully he does well, because I'd love to see him do well and get some more shares of him. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still on the fence a little bit because he hasn't played very long with neighbors. He hasn't played much,
Right.
everything. So I would like to see a full season before I can really make a full determination on where he's going to be.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, we saw it, in Michael Thomas's prime years. When you get symmetry with the quarterback, I mean, that's kind of all you need in some cases. And we're talking about two players that haven't really had a lot of time together, and they have to start to link up. And that process is most likely going to come during the season. I am taking some neighbors, but I am looking at him as a later in the season option. Hopefully, he booms around playoff time, and we can get a championship out of him. But I do like Dart going forward. Good luck to you, Chris, with that stock. I know you have a lot of them. In lesser news, this stood out to me. There's a guy named Tanner Koziel. He's a Jags tight end taken in the 5th round. He is 6'7", and he's being used in the red zone at camp and looking like a quote-unquote standout. This is probably something best suited for our Rookieville guys. That's Nick and JoJo. But we don't have them here. We have you guys. Ever heard of a Tanner Koziel?
Never heard of the dude.
I've seen his name on the draft boards, but I don't think I've seen anybody even drafting him.
I mean, maybe this is just somebody to light a fire under Strange's ass. I don't know.
Yeah, good point. And they do have a bit of talent over there in Jacksonville. It should be a pretty interesting year for them. With the leaving of Travis Etienne. So
Jacksonville is definitely interesting to watch with all the receivers coming and these tight ends now, and there's going to be a lot of talent we got to see all summer long. What's going to shape out?
Absolutely. And we know Chris Rodriguez is sitting out of practice with an injury of his own. So is this Bashal Tutin season uploading? And if so, I mean, he's a value on draft boards. Finally, we'll go to you here, Todd. Patrick Mahomes is practicing. Rashee Rice is not, still recovering. Do you think that Justin Fields has any value at all? Even if Mahomes doesn't start the year, Justin Fields still going to have a recovering Rashee Rice, an Alder Kelsey, and a whole new running back for that team to lean on. Do you have any hope in Justin Fields' value?
I don't have him anywhere. He was always going to be maybe a game or two at most, but I don't think they're gonna push Mahomes to start unless they lose a couple of games to start off with. I don't think they're going to rush him back. They're going to want to make sure he's healthy. They just paid him a whole ton of money, so they're not going to want to risk any further injury and risk a whole season of him being out. So he's, if you have Mahomes, he might be a decent option for a couple weeks. Outside of that, probably not very much value.
Chris, we'll go to you. You know that I have a 44% dynasty share of Rashee Rice, which is way too much at this point. Do you have a lot of stock in these Chiefs players, and how do you see that point distribution fanning out amongst them? Is it a Ken Walker season?
He's probably the one I have the most of, and it's not even that much. I usually skip Mahomes. I skip Rice. I don't care how far he goes down the board. I just don't trust him. I will say him spending a month in jail is not going to keep him prepared to go. I mean, it might keep his legs a little safer or fresher, but he's losing time with the team right now. So was he already in jail, or is he going soon?
I think he's serving his time now.
Okay.
Yeah, he might be there as we speak. So, it's making me nervous, with all the Rashee Rice stock that I have. And there was a point last year where I knew that I could sell him for a value. I mean, there was a point 2 years ago where I turned down a offer. It was Jamar Chase for Rashee Rice and like Josh Jacobs or something like that. And I mean, that might have worked out fine, but he was a hot product back then. So value's taking a dump. Hopefully he kicks back up so I can sell him. That's all we're going to talk about for NFL news and rumors. Not a whole lot this week. We're going to get right into the Ballsville update. We have a lot to go over here. This is the Gauntlet game. We talked about it last week. Since we debuted it, since it kicked off and launched, out of the 12 leagues, we have filled 5. 5 are currently drafting, and number 6, Mars, is 1 away from drafting. And once we get that last person, we will determine draft order and we will launch. These do not wait to launch. These are going to go right away. And we're 1 person away from being halfway done with filling that game. Remarkable. Big shout out to all the Ballsville players that have jumped in these. They're going to be a lot of fun. 4 trials, 4 ways to play the game. And you don't have to rely on head-to-head matchups at the end, because it's going to be chopping off the bottom performers on a weekly basis. We think it's going to be pretty cool. If you're not in there, jump in. Next league to open is going to be Apollo. Chris, these Gauntlet games, man. I mean, what do you think? These are filling up faster than we expected, right?
Yeah, I think this last league is proven. Poseidon, the one that's drafting last, I think it's catching up with the rest of the first 4 that were not drafting quarterbacks early and often. Earlier today, I noticed that 10 out of the 11 last picks between the first and second round were all quarterbacks. So I think people are starting to realize how important it is to draft 2 quarterbacks early on.
What do you think, Todd? What are you developing a draft strategy based on the way that these are going? I think, Chris, you have a point, man, because I think the second league I was in, I waited till round 4 to try to get my quarterback 2, and I said, oh man, I'm reaching like 3 rounds worth just to get somebody that I can rely on. But Todd, as far as you go, are you drafting quarterbacks early with the crowd?
Oh, absolutely. I got Daniel Jones in one, and I was mad that was my 3rd quarterback. So,
oh yeah, it's still good though.
I'm definitely getting my first 2 within the first 3 rounds, and trying to get another one by the 5th.
Right on. And we did. So it's not too dramatic, guys, but we did want to highlight some of our favorite teams. Sarah loves the Chargers and stuff. Z-Dub, the Dragons of Dynasty manager, loves the Bengals. Anubis just had to be a Raven, right? And then we have a couple managers, Zubicus and Sticky, that love the Lions. That's Amon-Ra. That's a Bill, Poseidon. That's not a Giant. We're going to redo the Giants. There's Mars, Panther. It's Mr. Barber here. And then Nick likes the Seahawks. So stay tuned to see what the next few are. They're all representatives of us as managers. We're going to take a brief look at the mini games, because these are something that we haven't acknowledged in the last 2 weeks, but these are free money mini games for you. If you're a Ballsville player, if you're in the All Survivor, this is for you and everybody you know, your uncle's baby's mama's cousin, anybody. You can invite anybody to these. Now, for the Survivor leagues, these have a sleeper error, and they're starting the season at week 3. So if it doesn't correct itself, which it probably won't, we're going to have to take everybody and usher you guys all into a new lobby so we can start from week 1. Essentially, you're going to pick who you think is going to win a matchup every year. You can't use the same team to win twice. And then at the end of the season, it's going to narrow down to the last few. And then we have stages set up for tiebreakers and stuff. So jump in that. This particular one is $100. It's free to enter. We have a total of $700+ throughout these mini games, and if you're in any of our games, you can check the pinned messages to see the ones that apply to you. This is for all Ballsville. If you're in any leagues, you get access to these 3 mini games: horse race, where you're predicting the top 12 rushing leaders; target hogs, where you're going to predict the target order for the top 3 pass catchers, tight end included, running backs. That's per team. And then win totals. This is, again, the managers here. This is our favorite teams, and we've determined what we think is going to be their line, their win total, and you're going to pick over-unders, and you're going to give your own win total, and each of these 3 mini games are worth $75 and free to you. And then we'll jump into the Highlander. Chris, do you want to tell us where we're at with the Highlander game?
Yes, so we're currently in the last league filling, league number 10, Vader. We are 5 spots away from filling up that league, and we have one opening in league number 5. We had somebody leave. That needs to be filled as well. We'll figure that out as soon as Vader is filled.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 spots away from filling that game. And then for the big game, guys, we're going to take a brief look here. We have Division 15 open. We filled leagues 1, 2, and 3. That's the Flash, Sonic, and Dash. These are all fast drafts, hence the theme. Next up is going to be Octane for you Apex players. That's going to be a fast draft. We're going to launch this weekend, likely tomorrow. Worst case, it'll be Saturday. For the slow drafts, this is Chris's suggestion. This was Matriarchs. This is, the bad bees, the women. Some of the coolest ones of Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, Phoenix, stuff like that. This one we opened up, 3 days ago, Chris?
It didn't take long to fill, no. Yeah.
Yeah, it filled up pretty quickly. We took a short break with the slow drafts. We ran a fast draft for the night, and then we are back again today. This is Division 17, Destroyers. This is another one of the manager's ideas. We have Thanos, Pennywise that are drafting. We have Sauron, Hajun, Galactus, Cthulhu, Magneto, and Darth Sidious. This is the Destroyers. These are some next level final boss kind of guys. Todd, how do you think these? We're shattering records. We did 12 divisions last year, and here we are on Division 17, and we're not even to the point where we usually start wrapping up the big game. How do you feel about this, man?
It's crazy. It's all the support that everybody's been giving out is absolutely amazing. Got so many new players coming in this year and just jumping in all these leagues, and it's going to be a good year.
All right, guys, speaking of Destroyers, for those of you in the audience, like we do every time we're here, we are going to give away a free entry raffle for those of you that enter the keyword of the night. And the keyword tonight is Destroy, DESTROY. Enter that in the chat and hang around because we're going to do the fantasy football court. And we're going to bring your comments on stage so you can help us decide who has the better argument in court coming up in just a minute. So keyword Destroy, make sure you hit that. And actually that's it for the Ballsville update. The next thing we're going to do is get into the courtroom, guys. This is a new segment. We're doing it for the first time. Bound to have some hiccups, but we're here for it, right?
Ballsville presents Fantasy Court. A player will be on trial. 2 sides will debate. The judge bot will rule. Court is in session.
Oh man, that's what happens, guys, when you get a guy like me behind the creativity part of this. You got I got some talent, I guess, but a whole lot of cornball in me. So put it together, and here we are in fantasy court. At the moment, I will be representing the good bot. Chris will be over here on the bad bot. We will alternate. And we have Todd up here as the judge bot. Todd will be judging tonight's contest. We're going to get into a little bit of back and forth. You in the audience, you can give your opinion, and the judge will make his ruling based off of the consensus and what he feels, and our arguments, of course. The first player that's going to be coming up, Mr. Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston is being taken at the 1301, and the objective here is we're going to decide whether we're drafting this player or whether we're not drafting this player based off of their ADP. Quentin Johnston again at the 1301, and that's based off of the big game. Those are 10 team. So pick, I think it's 121 or something like that. You have to take away 10, whatever. Chris, you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, the good bot is going to go first. My first argument is this. We have a player here who is taking wide receiver 76 in 2025. He finished as the wide receiver 34, and that is despite staggering to the finish line with injuries. He suffered a hamstring injury in week 6 and saw his connection with Herbert drop off after week 9 when Joe Alt got his injury.
Your Honor, if I may, Justin Herbert spreads the ball too much for them to lock down Quentin Johnson on any given week. So drafting him would be foolish at that spot.
All right. He's currently going as a wide receiver 39. He's going pick 121 in ADP, the 1301, as we said, 1001 in 12 teams. He's averaged nearly 20 points over the first 4 weeks in 2025. That is when he had 2 healthy tackles and no. Now he has 2 healthy tackles and no Keenan Allen. I think he could smash that return as your third bench player drafted.
Your Honor, they're going to focus on the run game. I mean, the offensive line is healthier than it's been in years, presumably. Hampton is an up-and-comer. They won't rely on the passing game as much as they have in prior years.
All right, my final. I think we can all agree that Mike McDaniels is an upgrade for the run game specialist. That was Greg Roman. McDaniels knows how to run an offense, isn't afraid to air it out. I think we can all agree that Herbert is a much better quarterback than Tua, and the AFC West will be won through the air. You add McDaniels, you add Joe Alt, you add Rashawn Slater, and you remove Keenan Allen from the equation. To me, that equals a wide receiver with more upside than the wide receiver 39 that Quentin Johnson is being valued at. That's my argument. I rest my case.
Your Honor, we don't know if Keenan Allen's going to be back. They have Ladd McConkey, Trey Harris, Aronde Gadsden, David Njoku, Hampton, and many more people to throw the ball to. Ladd McConkey was supposed to be the wide receiver 1 for this team last year, and we saw from week to week it could be any of them. So trusting Quentin Johnson is not the play here. And he has a history of starting fast and ending slow. I think his whole career has been based on declining throughout the season. So I rest my case, Your Honor.
All right. Based on the amount of targets and having a head coach that really is going to probably run the ball more often than do that, Herbert's going to toss that ball around to many different targets. It's going to be too early to draft him, so we're going to go with do not draft.
Do not draft. That's the win for the bad side there. Chris, quite an argument. All right, guys, don't forget to enter destroy in the chat. We have 11 entries there. That's the keyword for the night. Destroy. All right. Next up, we are going to come to Mr. Cam Scattaboo. And for this one, we're going to switch places because our Giants fan is going to take the side of the good bot. And the good bot leads us off. Chris, the floor is yours, sir.
Your Honor, I want to start out by saying that Cam Scattaboo averaged over 4.6 yards per carry last season. That's a pretty good start for a rookie. And their offense is going to be based on the run this year, especially with Neighbors being out to start the season probably. He'll be running behind Ricard, and they have a new offensive staff who likes to run the ball.
Your Highness, Scattaboo suffered a gruesome right ankle injury in Week 8 against the Philadelphia Eagles. That injury consisted of an open ankle dislocation, a fractured fibula, and a ruptured deltoid. Oh, also an open tibia fracture. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what all that means, but it sounds pretty nasty.
Your Honor, if it was that nasty, would he be doing backflips at celebrity softball games? I think not. He's ready to play. He's hyped. This is definitely the spot to draft him.
We're talking about a guy who is going to have to rely on head coach or on offensive coordinator Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy is known for his attempt at a West Coast offense. It's not exactly running back friendly.
Your Honor, the Giants play in a division with defenses that aren't very great, and they have a fourth place schedule. A lot of defenses that they're going to face this year, they won't have to throw every down against to catch up because they'll be ahead. And when you're ahead, you know what you do. You run the ball a lot. And the guy that runs the ball a lot on this team is Cam Scatabo. Oh, and he can just catch the ball too.
So Cam Scatabo is taken at the 701, and that's the 7th round. You're hoping that he outperforms other more secure options like a Baker Mayfield if you need a quarterback, or how about a Tyler Warren if you need a tight end? You're hoping that he can regain form, but there is no guarantee. His value is completely hope-based. I rest my case.
Your Honor, if you need someone to get you through the fantasy playoffs, this is the guy. In championship week 17, he faces the Dallas Cowboys, the worst against the rush in 2025. If that doesn't say enough, I don't know what will. I rest my case.
Okay, based on the evidence here, what are his reckless as he is, he's doing backflips right now. We don't know that he's fully healthy, and he's running around like crazy. You say he might be good for playoffs, he could get hurt again the same way because he's playing too recklessly. I'm going to say it's going to be too early. We're going to do not draft.
Do not draft. The bad side wins, and that's 1-1 for we got to come up with names. I don't know. We'll be lawyers or something. Like the good guy will be Dr. Optimistic or something. I don't know. You guys can help us out. Next up is going to be Mr. Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams is going to be my player. So I'll jump over here to the good side and grab the right spot. That'll work. All right. I'll lead it off. Kyren Williams going at the 5'10". His value off the board is actually RB17. And in the last 3 years, he has been the number 7, the number 7, and the number 9. And this is a guy who was a 5th round pick and has outperformed like a true RB1. The draft capital still casts a shadow of doubt in our minds, and that's got to be the explanation for that 5'10" draft pick.
Yep. Like you said, a 5th round pick. In 2022, there's no loyalty to a guy beyond what he can do now.
Blake Corum is his biggest thing. Actually, I jumped ahead. Hold on. Skirt. Rewind. Myles Garrett joins the fold. A better defense means more ball control. McVay will lean on the run game to keep Stafford fresh for a long season. Blake Corum is supposed to be big trouble for Kyren. But Kyren showed he has made his money off of efficiency. He only had 228 attempts last year.
Oh, Blake Corum? You mean the 3rd round pick, Blake Corum? The one that they spent a higher draft pick on than Kyren Williams? That guy?
Yeah, that guy. But still, in week 5, against San Francisco, Kyren only touched the ball 24 times and he racked up 30 fantasy points.
Blake Corum also had a higher yard per carry at over 5 yards per carry, who also scored 26 points on just 13 touches in week 14 alone last year.
So Kyren doesn't need all the touches. He only averaged 60% of snaps last year. He had games of 16, 17, 22 points, plus a 27-point game against Chicago in the divisional round. I'm
going to end my argument right here. Blake Corum is not a symptom. He is an illness that will infect Kyron Williams. The name alone sparks panic in Kyron Williams owners. Don't fall for it. He's the guy on the rise. Kyron will fall.
Oh man, that's pretty solid. Well, Blake Corum's supposed to be the problem for Kyron, but Kyron's always made a success off of limited touches and efficiency. In the 5th round at the 5'10", to grab a running back that finished 7, 7, and 9 as the running back 17th, I feel like that's a value that I can't pass up personally. I rest my case. Go.
So a traditionally top 10 running back is going to be a good value in the 5th round. Even with Corum coming on, we don't know how much he's actually going to be playing this year. He looked good, but we don't know yet. He's still the running back 1. He's still going to get his touches, and they're still going to run the ball, and he's still going to do his thing. We're going to draft him.
Oh, we got one for the draft. All right, so we are drafting Kyron Williams at the 5'10". So this isn't exactly how we feel about players. We're doing this for satire. I do like Kyron. Chris, do you like Kyron?
I don't have a lot of them, just because I take a lot of running backs late, so I don't get a lot of exposure to RB1s in this sense.
All right, we're going to come over here to this guy. We have Mr. Controversial Jalen Hurts, who keeps finding his way onto our show when we talk about debating player values. This one's going to see Chris in the good seat. Chris, you can go ahead and take it away.
Your Honor, this kills me. I'm not a Jalen Hurts fan, but I will do my best to defend him here. He has failed to rank as a top 10 quarterback in fantasy 0 times since his rookie season. Every year, top 10. Every year, top 9.
So I see that. His claim to fame is on the back of 2 quarterback 8 finishes in 24 and 25. He's being drafted as the quarterback 8, except now he doesn't have a true dominator at wide receiver anymore. He's got the likes of Dallas Goedert and Micaiah Lemon to lean on, who are both injury prone, and Lemon is injured at the moment.
Your Honor, he took a less than friendly rushing regression last year, but they did not ban the tush push, and he will have to do more this year losing A.J. Brown. So who's that going to fall on? It's going to fall on Jalen Hurts. You can draft this guy.
We're talking about a guy that has only eclipsed 300 passing yards once, and now he loses his main weapon. That's once in 2025. He loses his main weapon, and we don't know who's going to soak up these targets. He's going to have to rely on a Devontae Smith, who has always been an undersized receiver, and I don't think he's a one for any team. You're going to have to base Jalen Hurts' value on whether or not you believe he's a one.
Your Honor, the biggest reason why this quarterback continues to rank in the top 10 every year is because the division is full of teams that can't stop him because their defenses are horrible. Dallas, Giants, Commanders, do any of those defenses strike fear in you? I did not think so.
Well, there's a lot of change in the NFC East. This is a new offensive coordinator for Hurts, and the NFC East opponents have sunk draft capital into their defensive side of the ball for once, especially Dallas.
Your Honor, did you know that even though the media pundits were going off about how bad the Eagles' offense looked, he had a career high in passing touchdowns last year?
Oh, I didn't know that. Making a little hot under the collar there. All right. Well, you mentioned the tush push and his rushing touchdowns. This is a guy that was averaging 13 rushing touchdowns, but then over the last 2 years, it dropped down to 8. One thing that we know occurred there was the exit of Jason Kelsey. Can he still put up double-digit rushing touchdowns without Kelsey? And in addition, as far as fantasy goes, he breached 30 points just 3 times last year, but he did fail to hit 14 points 5 times. During the season, he averaged 21 points. And you got to ask yourself, is 21 points really what you consider an elite production at the quarterback position? I think not. I rest my case.
Your Honor, the Eagles spent early draft picks on offensive skill players with Mekhi Lemon and Stowers in the first 2 rounds in an attempt to improve their offense. I think they did enough in that regard. And I will also say, if Hurts is not elite, do you think Justin Herbert or Lamar Jackson are elite? Because Hurts scored more fantasy points per game last year than both of those players.
Oh, man. That sounds like a mic drop.
Okay. With the addition of the weapons that he has, and everyone always seems to not take into account his rushing upside, and they only want to talk about his passing, we are going to draft him.
That is a draft for Jalen Hurts. Chris, you kind of convinced me. I kind of want to draft him too now. All right, guys, I got a couple more of these. Next on the docket is Bucky Irving. This is Bucky Irving. Chris is gonna be the defender here.
Good still?
Bucky, what's that?
No, I'm still on the good side for this one.
Yes, sir. You're on the good side. And Bucky is going at the 605. Take it away, Chris.
Your Honor, Bucky Irving averaged just under 14 fantasy points per game despite sharing the backfield with Rachaad White. And by the way, he's moved on to Washington this season. Not a bad thing right there.
Well, he's gone, but now Bucky shares the backfield with Kenneth Gainwell, who is more proficient in the passing game, as far as I'm concerned.
Also, before being injured last season, he received over 70% snap share before the injury. So even though Rachaad White was on the team, it was Irving's team.
Speaking of last year, he only averaged 3.4 yards per carry. That's more than 2 yards less than his carry yardage that he had in 2024 at 5.4. So a significant drop off.
Well, I will say this, Your Honor. The Tampa Bay offense took a step backwards last year, but the main reason why that is the case is because he was out from injury. So when he comes back, which he should be fine for training camp here, the Tampa Bay offense will be rocking like it was 2024.
The problem for me is that when he does come back, like we said, he has a Kenneth Gainwell to compete with in the passing game and a Sean Tucker, who they weren't afraid to use in short yardage situations and goal line work.
Your Honor, he averaged over 17 carries per game, even though he was dealing with injuries. I believe that this number will increase substantially if healthy.
Finally, I'll say that the amount of times that we mentioned injuries going back and forth is something that we need to highlight. This is a player that was dealing with what started off as a leg injury last year, kept him out of action longer than was predetermined, and transitioned into a shoulder injury that he hasn't quite recovered from, at least 8 months later. This is a guy that I personally will not be trusting with those injuries, especially at the 604. I rest my case. Did it get you? I got you on that one, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with the snap share, he may get a little bit less with Gainwell there, but he's probably still going to be the bulk of the offensive running. As long as he gets healthy, and the shoulder injury just kind of came out of nowhere. No one's saying anything about it, so we don't even know how bad it is. So we're going to trust him, and we're going to go with draft.
Draft. Oh, another one for Christopher. Awesome. Yeah, so the good bot wins this round. All right, we're going to do one more player, guys, and we'll save the rest for next week because we want to get into some trade talk with the cool new graphic that we have. The last player on the docket is going to be one Michael Wilson. And this is Chris, you're still on the good side.
Yeah, here we go, baby. All right, Michael Wilson
guy
finished as wide receiver 10 on the season this last season. He was 59 and 60 in the previous 2 seasons.
Yeah, before week 11 against San Francisco, this guy had never finished inside the top 40 at wide receiver in any given week after 3 years with the team.
Right, Alex. But once Marvin Harrison became hurt, he took over as wide receiver 1 and never looked back.
Is he though, really? Because Marvin Harrison to me is still considered the wide receiver 1 on this team. And if we want to be real about it, he's the pass catcher too, because the pass catcher 1 is Trey McBride.
Well, Jacoby Brissett is still the presumed starting quarterback there, and their connection and their compatibility with each other is undeniable.
Objection, Your Honor. Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback should be an argument for my side.
Over the final 8 weeks of the season, he finished with 5 weeks inside the top 9 at the position, 2 of which were wide receiver 1 for the week in all of the NFL.
I don't know how we can expect that to repeat in a year where we have a healthy Marvin Harrison, an alpha and Trey McBride, and about 16 running backs that are capable of carrying that load.
In the final 8 weeks of the season, he had 6 touchdowns and 11 targets per game. I rest my case.
Oh, man. This is a guy that is moving to a Z receiver, similar to what they did with Puka over there with the Rams. I don't know what this is going to mean for the Cardinals, but in a year where they might try out Carson Beck halfway through the year, I don't know if I want to trust any of these Cardinals, let alone what I think might be the pass catcher 3. I rest my case.
Okay. With quarterback uncertainty, we assume somebody's going to be the quarterback, but he's really not really starting quarterback at any other team in the league. And you keep mentioning the last 8 weeks. There was more weeks than just the last 8 weeks. He didn't do anything. So we got to trust him over an entire season if we're drafting him in this high. So we're going to not draft him.
Not draft him. All
I'm
right,
sorry,
cool.
I'm drafting him if he makes it to 10-10. That's crazy.
Oh, man. So here's my thing. I think that there's so much more upside for Quentin Johnson than there is for Michael Wilson. And we just talked about Quentin Johnson going in round 13. So 3 rounds later, Judge Todd, out of those 2, if they're going back-to-back, who would you take?
Quentin Johnson.
Man, anyways,
that you know what he's going to get out of the quarterback.
We have 3 more players to save for the next time we do this. What do you guys think? I thought this was a lot of fun.
This was great.
Enjoy it.
Awesome. All right, we're going to get into one of our last segments here. We have about 15 minutes before we hit that hour mark, and this is one of our favorites.
Trade Talk. Ballsville is excellent.
All right, guys, we have a new graphic here. If you're new to the show, the way that the trade talks work is we're going to pull up a trade that's usually from a Ballsville Dynasty League because that's where we see the most action. Once we get to redraft, we will pull up those trades, especially if there's a trade that causes a stir in the league. You can submit it to our Discord in the trade review section, and we will put it up on the podcast. People know that we do this, and it's kind of one of the things that I think promotes fair trading. We haven't had to do much trade reversing, which is in our bylaws. We've only reversed 3 trades in our 6-year history. So you guys keep up the good work and keeping the games fair because that's what we're all about. First one we're going to go over is non-Ballsville. This is JoJo. He asked us to pull this up for him. JoJo is getting KC Concepcion and 2027 first, and he's giving up Jameson Williams and Chase Brown. Todd, we're going to come to you first. Let us know what you think about this and how do you think this trade played out.
That's tough. I think it's pretty close, but I think I'd go with the Chase Brown side. I don't like Jameson Williams that much in Dynasty, but Chase Brown he's won some leagues last couple of years. And we're talking about a receiver on Cleveland that should be good, but it's Cleveland. And a first-round draft pick that we don't know where it's going to be at right now. It's supposed to be a better draft class, but I'd rather take Chase Brown.
What about you, Chris?
I feel the same way, but I'm more bullish on Jameson Williams. I think he's due for a breakout, and Chase Brown is a plenty fine to get you through at the running back position. We don't know about Conception, and that first could be a good one. Probably worth at least one of these guys he's trading away. But I just see both of those guys as being better than Conception right now.
So, Concepcion is weird because he's going to rely on a bargain bin of quarterbacks over there in Cleveland. They all seem like they're all average and have their flaws, but if one can emerge, I don't think there's any doubt that he will end up being the primary target there. Him and Fannin. They got some other weapons, kind of. But I think that it should be his role to acquire. And the reason that I think that this is a fair trade, and I would call it fair, is because that 2027 first with the quarterback class coming up, if that translates into a quarterback, now we're talking about Chase Brown for a Caleb Williams caliber quarterback, and that would put this trade into a different perspective. And I think that JoJo, who's our Rookieville guy, kind of knows what he's going to expect to find there, even if it is later in the first round. And if you're looking at it from that perspective and you put a quarterback in that mix, then I believe it'll be an even trade. But if I'm a contender, by far, it's the Chase Brown side. We have different opinions in the chat. Chicken Boy thinks it's JoJo, and Jerry thinks it's the 2027. Oh, well, they both think it's JoJo. Yeah. All right. So interesting. Trade number 2 is going to be coming out of Alstowing. This is a simple trade. We have Keaton Mitchell and Parker Washington for another 2027 first. Chicken Boy, who's in the audience here, is giving away that first and getting these assets. Would you give up your first for those combination of players there, Chris?
Nope. That 2027 first is worth more than those players combined.
What do you think, Todd?
I'm taking the first. Mitchell at best is backup. Parker Washington maybe the one. He looked okay last year, but they have so many things there going on. At this point in the year, I wouldn't peg him as the one until I see the start of the season. So I definitely take the first right now.
Yeah, Parker Washington's such an interesting player. Him and BTJ and how they're going to work in that offense. We just talked about, that tight end that might emerge. They got Strange there, Tootin and Rod. What will Travis Hunter do? It's such a crazy situation. That's going to be one of my favorite storylines from the offseason. But we know that 27 first isn't going to depreciate in value, and there's a chance that Parker Washington comes out and he's dethroned by BTJ, in him having a healthy year, or the Jaguars using other weapons to win games. So I have to take the side of the first. I think it's pretty unanimous there. The audience seems to select the first 2. Trade number 3 is going to be out of Dritz. I don't know this character. Chris, do you know this character?
No, I do not.
People that know this character really like this character, so I'm going to have to check out where he's from. But Jay Morris, one of our favorite Dynasty players, he's been with us since League One. He's getting Tyrone Tracy and Torrey Horton. He's given up Jack Besh, Anthony Richardson, and Tank Dow So not exactly big pieces here, but this is the kind of trade that is going to help you out long term. Todd, we'll go to you first. What do you think of this trade and who wins?
Sorry, Giorgio. Again, I'm gonna go with the Tracy and Horton side. If Scatabo happens to start off slow, or if he gets injured again, Tracy is going to be the back there. Torrey Horton, I believe, is a solid number 2 to JSN. And you have a couple of, I know JoJo's high on Besh. Richardson's, who knows what's going to happen with him because he's not going to be starting in Indianapolis anytime soon. Tank Dell, he's kind of floated around. Thought he was good at one point, but people have surpassed him now, especially Higgins in Houston. Definitely got to go Jay Moore side.
What about you, Chris? Do you agree?
It's so weird. I think this is like 50-50. I'm high on Dell long term. Like give him another season away from that injury. He'll be better hopefully, but that's a risky position to take. Whereas Tracy, he got overlooked by Scatabo coming in fast last year. I like Tracy, but I also like Dell. I don't know much about these other guys other than Richardson's a bum, and I really don't know what side to pick. But my favorite player out of this group is Dell if he can get things back on track.
Yeah, he was a player that I had none of, and then when I saw him breaking out, I was like, "Oh man, did I miss the boat on this guy?" And then it was all a moot point, anyways. But yeah, there's a chance he could have a resurgence here, and it could play out at JoJo's favor. I think Jack Besh has a 30% chance of being the wide receiver 1 or 2 there. Who's it? Him, Naylor, and there's like one more
Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker, yeah. So either one of them could emerge as a wide receiver 1, but either one's going to be the pass catcher 2 behind Brock Bowers. And they have Genty and they have Washington there. And there's already, blurbs coming out about Kubiak wanting to use a 2-back system. So, they retain Max Crosby, and if they can hold it down on defense there, maybe they try to run the ball until they get blown out in the second half. That's just – we all have the Raiders predicted for like 4 wins, I think. So we don't expect them to win a lot. But 30% chance of Jack Besh having relevance. And then Richardson, I don't think he's going to do anything over there in Indianapolis. Even his highlights coming out of camp don't look great. So, the guy fractured his eye with, sweat gear. So, one more trade, guys. And this one is a blockbuster. It's going to kick us out of the frame. So we'll come over here. Chris, I'm going to let you read this off for us.
So in this trade, Dead Man's Soul got Chris Rodriguez, Jalen McMillan, Tez Johnson, Kyle Monangai, Eli Stowers, and Javonte Williams, giving away Trey McBride, Chase Brown, and a 2027 second to Big Timers for 20.
Ooh, man, that's Greg, Dead Man Soul, and that Mr. Chris, Big Timer. What do you think about it, Chris?
I think he gave away the 2 best assets in the trade, but I will say that if it's just to add a lot of depth, he did well because Javonte, Monangai, Stowers, Rodriguez, all 4 of those guys to me could end up playing big roles eventually, especially Javonte early on. I can see both sides of this working out.
What about you, Todd?
Definitely. It's pretty close, but I will take top side. I can see you've got some youth. You've got some starting running backs. You got McMillan or Johnson could be, top receiver in Tampa Bay. Stowers is going to be the future tight end in Philly. He's going to be trained this year. And you got Monangai, may not be the one, but he's still going to get his touches. He's still going to get his points. The two players on the other side are better assets, but you're getting a lot. You can't play them all at the same time, but you're getting
that's the trick right there.
You're getting some youth and you're getting some depth.
Yeah,
So
I have to agree with your take. I like that. You're getting a concentration of power on the bottom side with McBride and Chase Brown, and you're getting an asset in the second that's going to only appreciate in value. I think. Well, I'm not a rookie guy. I don't really look that far ahead, but from what I hear everywhere, that second round 2027 picks are going to be extremely valuable, about as good as they are at the back end of the first this year or better. So if you're getting a quality player with that, that's only going to elevate the value on that side, and I would take that side because those assets are already live and they are doing it. On the top side, you have Javonte, who I think he's coming back from his own injury too. I haven't heard anything about that. Monangai, who I do like, but these Tampa Bay receivers, these are so questionable. We know Ibuka is going to get his. Godwin's probably going to be in the slot. There's a lot of buzz about Ted Hurst, and then it's going to be, is it him? Is it one of these guys? It could be anybody. So Chris Rodriguez currently hurt. We like Tootin, and I do like Stowers, but I would give him about a 75% chance of succeeding and breaking into the tight end one territory, but McBride is already there. So I would give this to Big Timer for sure. And I think the audience agrees. We have Ethan in the house, Chicken Boy, and Jerry all saying the McBride side. So did we all agree on the same side, or did one of you guys pick the top?
I'll take the top.
All right, so 2-1, guys.
Yeah.
That's our trade talk for the evening. We wanted to keep it nice and brief. We have a couple minutes left, and we are gonna update you. We have 15 people with the keyword destroy, so odds are 1 of 15 of winning that free entry. For the promotion last week, if you commented on the podcast, if your name is Sarah, P. Groat, Hopscotch Daisy, Chicken Boy, Soul Stiller, DGen Ethan, Thunder Zach, Bad Company, TB76, K Doggity Dog, Metafangeles, Grinder Omega, Sorry for Cussing. For those of you that were paying attention and you went back to last week's episode and you left a comment, you're going to participate in our first ever duck race. 45 seconds. All right. And names set. All right, here we go. And we're going to begin.
To the lead, baby.
So we've never done this before. We've done the 100-yard dash recently. That's how we're determining the draft order for the gauntlet game. That's a lot of fun. Can you guys hear the quacking?
Nope.
Oh, man, that would have added a great element to this. 23 seconds, and we have Chicken Boy, Ethan, and Sorry for Cussing, the top three in the lead.
Oh,
Ethan
come on.
taking a lead with 15 seconds. 13, 12, 10, 9. Here he comes. Making it close. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, with the sprint to the finish. Mr. Christopher. So, oh, man. Badass duck. All right, guys. You're going to get into one of, I don't know if you can hear the stuff I'm hearing, man, but it's pretty funny. Ballsville ADP, if you want to go check that out on the website, that's where we got all our information for the ADP. And 15 entries. Let's go ahead and give this away and get out of here. No question of the night, guys. We had a lot to do with our new segment there. A lot of fun. This one goes to Chicken Boy.
Chicken Boy.
All right, Noah. So you and Christopher go jump into one of the Destroyer leagues, or we're probably going to be doing a fast draft tomorrow. If you guys want to check that out. Lots of fun tonight. Todd, what'd you think of the new segment, man? Pretty fun, huh?
I liked it a lot.
You going to be back to be the judge?
Absolutely.
I like saying Your Honor.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you could play with that segment. It's a little tense because this is our first time debuting it, but we'll be back with a lot more action. Chris, you have anything for the crew before we get out of here?
No, just join these leagues, baby. Join these leagues.
Yeah, we're cooking right now. What about you, Todd? Any last words?
But nope, just let's get these leagues filled up. We'll keep running these big games until we run out of steam here, and make sure we fill up this Highlander so we can get those ready to go and get these gods filled up.
Hey, it only took a week to half fill Gauntlet. Maybe next week we'll be talking about all 12 of them filled.
Yeah, that's going to be wild, guys. That's going to be wild. The big game already has it went from a $250 game bonus to a $500 game bonus. We doubled that. And then at the end of the 20 division period, we're going to account and we're going to add totals for second place and third place. So instead of having 1 to 12 odds of winning the championship like last year, you're actually going to have 3 out of 20 odds. So much better to win a bonus prize in the championship week. Maybe it's not the championship, but it'll be like $100 or something like that. So lots of fun. Thanks for joining us tonight, and don't find yourself in court.